Hey guys, so this video is basically going to cover everything in the Tosh drama. This is a complete video of everything we know and think about this situation. We are going to present the facts as we know them, allowing you guys to choose how you feel about them.
So the first thing we want to talk about is, why are we even bringing this drama up again in the first place? This isn't about keeping some petty drama. This is about the fact that he has made money and subscribers out of cheating and lying to the community. Something that we are not okay with, and other people shouldn't be okay with it either. It's been a long time, and we've decided that we are not going to accept this anymore.
So let's get started. We'll begin by talking about how this was reintroduced in the first place. npesta found some saws above Devil Vortex, and considering the arrangement and number of the saws, he was completely convinced that the purpose of the saws was used to balance out the deletion of objects used in a semi-auto. He uploaded the video as he was convinced it would be enough. He was severely mistaken. However, when Tosh made a response video with nothing substantial other than the fact that he made assumptions, he became even more suspicious and uploaded a follow-up video, basically stating that Tosh never described the arrangement and number of the saws, and that if he was trying to use the saws to copy and paste later in the level, he would have just used the same exact saws located nearer to the gameplay.
His response to this was to upload a video of himself doing 58 to 100 and 55 on Devil Vortex. This convinced a lot of people that he's legit, but it's been a year and a half. It's not about how skilled he is at Devil Vortex now, it's about completing Devil Vortex back then. It should be noted that many people can go from beating Stereo Madness to beating Deadlocked in a matter of a few months.
The next thing we are going to be talking about is saws in Devil Vortex. I know npesta has beaten this point to death, but it's important to reinstate. The fact that there are 54 random saws up there for no reason is odd, as they cannot be used for any creating purposes. There are closer saws of the same type in the level, and there are more than one type of saw.
However, before, npesta was not able to provide where Tosh semi-autoed the level. Now, though, we have an explanation. If you count all the autoable timings in the 30% ball, besides the last spam, you get 11 objects needed. The reason he didn't want to auto the last spam is so he could show himself getting far before he beat the level. This is proven by the fact that he didn't start the video on the attempt he beat it, or even the attempt before it, but several attempts back, when he was at the last spam at that ball. It wasn't autoed as people would see the same movements and realize it was semi-autoed. I'm also not including yellow orbs, as there is no way to auto those successfully. There are no paths that provide the same height as yellow orbs. So that leaves us with 11 autoable clicks in that ball. If you add that together with the spam at 54, which is 16, the following wave, which is 15, and the last wave without the last spam, which is 12, you get exactly 54. This is all the hardest parts in the level. Everything lines up.
But it gets more interesting when we look at unnerved paracosm circles. Up at the top of a level, we see 45 random generic blocks, once again, with no purpose. Unlike Devil Vortex, these are not special objects of any kind. We've checked all unnerved paracosm circles copies we could find, and none of them besides Tosh's had those 45 blocks sitting at the top of a level, meaning Tosh added them himself. Why would he do that? Well, 45 is just about how many pads or gravity portals he would have needed to auto most of the last wave. The last 30% of this level is really hard and inconsistent, while the first 70% is much easier. This leads us to the following conclusion. Tosh verified the level with most of the last wave being auto, and stopped the recording before uploading his copy. He then went into the editor, got rid of all the pads or portals, and balanced it out by adding blocks at the top of the level, thinking nobody would ever find them in order to keep the amount of objects unchanged. Just like the Devil Vortex video, he doesn't upload his copy of unnerved paracosm circles in his video, which only strengthens this point.
There's a couple more things we want to say about Devil Vortex and his skill in general. Firstly, we like to point out that he claims to have beaten Bloodbath in around 7,000 attempts, which would make him at the moment the best player in the world. This is supported by the claim that he beat Devil Vortex in 5,000 attempts. But if you look at his other accomplishments, it just doesn't line up. If that's how long it took him to beat Bloodbath and Devil Vortex, 5,000 attempts to beat Breakout and Artificial Ideology, both of which he beat after Devil Vortex, seems like a lot. This isn't an insult to his skill, this is a demonstration on how inconsistent his skill is.
Yet another thing I'd like to talk about. Some of you who've been around for long enough might know about ToshDeluxe challenge, a challenge Tosh verified a very long time ago. It was basically 70 to 100 on Necropolis, but very buffed. Here you can see Gabs DMing with someone we decided not to mention, as we do not want to get them involved in this situation. You might want to take a look at the screenshots Gabs sent, which were taken at two key points of the video, before and after what Tosh claimed to be a lag spike. As you can see by looking at the square, the wave trail isn't at the same place after the lag spike as it was before it. The person we censored told Tosh, who then took the video down, but we still have these DMs to back up the evidence.
Now, here's the thing I would like to talk about. As you may know, Tosh used the FPS bypass for his second to last proof video. The thing here is that Tosh didn't mention using the bypass at first, and we ended up noticing it ourselves. You might think that this doesn't really matter because he got 82% without a bypass a couple of days later, but like that's not really the point I'm trying to make here. Once we told Tosh that we knew about this, he went to playing the level again, and he reached 82% on 144Hz without using the bypass. So, as you can see in the description of the video, he did confirm that he used the bypass in the previous one. But what I'm trying to point out here is the way he was worded. He didn't mention using it, but he managed to cover it by trying to make us look like the bad ones in the story. Now, of course, one that doesn't really think twice will turn against us in this situation. But if you do think twice, you're going to realize he's the one that wasn't honest in the story. He used the bypass in the first video, and even if he ended up beating his bypass record a couple days later on 144Hz, he still hit the truth in the first place and did not mention the fact that he used it, even though he knows he should have mentioned it. Actually, I left a comment in the video about that, and I straight up got banned from his channel, and he did not respond whatsoever. So a couple hours later, I called him out on Twitter about how he deleted my comments, and I ended up getting blocked on there as well. So, all this is just to show you guys how well his description was worded, and how good he can be at manipulating people who don't really pay much attention to what's going on in this kind of situations. So, I'm just gonna ask you guys a favor. I just want you guys to think about this for a second. He confessed to using it only because that way he would get away best, and also because he just couldn't deny using it. So all I'm asking you guys to do is, please, in this kind of situations, take the time to read between the lines, because it can just make so much of a difference for everyone.
One last thing we'd like to point out. In Tosh's old Devil Vortex video, you can see that Tosh used a macro to do the spam at 54. This is supported by the evidence that the height of the waves are at the same pixel on every click. Not only that, but you can see that he reactivates the macro at the end of the level. As you can see, these wave movements at the end and these wave movements at 54 are the exact same, leading us to the conclusion that he used the macro.
So, that's everything. Again, we will reiterate, we did not make this video for attention. We made it because we felt that Tosh should not be considered legit, and because Tosh has made a lot of money out of lying and manipulating people. We are interested to hear your opinions on this, though. Tosh, if you plan on making a video about this, do not take it any further than the points made in this video. We have no intent whatsoever of attacking you at a personal level, and we hope that you treat us with the same respect. I just want to take a moment and thank the people who helped out in the making of this video and helping with the evidence or anything like that. Gabs, GodGamerZero, Golden, Meatius, npesta, Rainstorm, Sonic 80, myself, Technical, TGI, and Wormfodder. So yeah, thanks for watching.